Coach, what do you like about your job?
Man, well, that's a pretty broad question. I love the relationship aspect of it with my fellow coaches, with my players. I love I love being part of a team. I love being part of something that's bigger than individuals, including myself. And I love to compete. But when you mix all that together, it's like every year, every season, whatever. It's like almost like an experiment in human relations. You know what I mean? As you go through the ups and downs and highs and lows of a season, you find out about yourself. You find out about the people that are around you, and you just learn. And every day's there's a lot of some days it feels like Groundhog Day, right? But every year is different, every season is different, every game week is different, and I love the challenge of that.
Every time we post a clip, something we see in open practice, I'll always see a comment. I haven't seen that before. How do you stay current? How do you stay fresh? How do you continue to innovate?
I've always been. I love to learn. So, you try to study different ways to maybe present a concept that guys may have an idea about, but you find a different way to present it, and maybe it becomes more effective of a presentation method. You try to find ways to keep guys where it doesn't become mundane, but you're still developing the same kind of skill set, things of that nature. So I'm a drill junkie. I try to stay on top of what are great ways to drill certain concepts or drill certain techniques. I love studying, other coaches and other teachers, trainers, other offensive schemes. Love studying opponents. What's the latest thing that Aaron Donald has done that I can see. Oh, this guy, he got to win. He had some success with this, so I got to make sure my guys are prepared for that or whatever. So you stay fresh by always looking to learn, I guess. How
is your group different this year, and why do you think that will translate into them being more effective?
Well, they have. Last year we had guys that had experience, but we were a new staff, new offensive system, new verbiage, new ways to communicate. This year, we've got some new faces, but we've got some guys, the core guys, particularly in the offensive line unit, who are returners. And so those guys know me, I know them. That makes it, there's a comfort level there, there's a expectation level there. And it's a whole lot easier to communicate with those guys because we're all speaking the same language. And then you bring in the new guys and they're acclimating into, how we do things, what we call things. We've got, 4 transfer guys that have all come from different programs, but and they had different languages, if you will, but they're learning our language and having guys that don't have to learn the whole new language be able to help translate. You know what I mean? It makes things a lot smoother. So just having the experience of, spending time being together for a year and a half.
How do you feel about your depth?
I feel good about we've got some young guys that we're finding out about. We've got really good competition going on right now at some positions, and we've got some quality guys that are coming back that have tremendous experience. With Matt and Sam and Lokai, and so I know we got to, in order for us to get through a season, we always look at it. We say we want to be able to identify who are our top 3 tackles, who are our top 3 guards, who are our top 2 centers, right? So that you can, that would give you 8 guys that you feel really good about. Sometimes a guy might fall into 2 categories. I guess our top guard, but he's one of our top 2 centers as well. That's a little bit precarious at times, but that's where you got to develop the young guys to be able to fit into those roles. So you're not trying to solve a problem by robbing Peter to pay Paul. You know what I mean? So the development piece of camp is about developing that depth, so that when you get into the preparation of playing a season, that you feel good about. If something happens here, I can make this move to get our next best 5 guys on the field, and so on and so forth. So that's part of camp too, is developing that, and we're in the process of that, obviously.
How is it different for your guys when they're blocking and for Mikey Keene, and then when John Rice comes in?
No different.
No?
No. Just a different voice. They don't look at it as, this guy has got this experience or that experience, or this guy maybe does this a little differently than this guy, and then all they care about is what's the play called, right? And then let's get the ball snapped and execute and move on to the next play. So whether it's John Rice calling it, Mikey Keene calling it, Isaiah Bowser calling it out of the Wildcat, or if RJ's back there, right? It doesn't matter who we're snapping the ball to. We're going to execute what they call, and and do the best we can in that regard. So that's all that changes, really, is what voice is making a play call.
When you hear "seize the moment," what does it mean to you? How does it motivate you?
Well, every year is different. Every year, like I said, every week sometimes, that should go through the course of the year. But the one thing that overrides is, we have a finite amount of time, starting when we kick off versus South Carolina State till whatever our last game is. That moment of time that you have is as a start and a finish. There's a beginning and an end to it, and you want to make sure that you're putting in the preparation to be able to make the most of that time that you have. Whether that time is, a week preparation for a game or over the long haul of the season, we got to seize the moment that we have right in front of us.